Hi, my friend Calvin here. Today I'd like to talk about Toronto housing market instead of post-COVID-19 symptoms that we planned before. Because this topic of housing market is more time sensitive than the other one, which we'll talk later. I found several reports from Toronto Regional Real Estate Board website, TREP. They periodically produce many reports on Toronto housing markets. Like this one is produced every month for previous months. This one is generated on Thursday, March 4th, and is for the last February, so it's quite new. There are a lot of jaw-dropping things reported here for the past months. This probably is a bad news for those who are looking to buy a home but haven't bought yet, and probably is a good news for those who are looking to sell or just sold. First, let's look at sales. February 2020 sales is about 11,000 units, which is a record home sale in this Greater Toronto area and is 57% higher than that in January, 55% higher than that of February last year, which is just before the pandemic. These numbers are crazy. Monthly new listing amount has risen to 15,002. That's also more than 50% higher than that in January this year, less than 50% compared to February last year. Now let's look at the sales to new listing ratio. This one is interestingly similar to that of January this year and slightly higher than that of February last year. This means that proportionally there are similar increase in new listing as in sales. That's exactly what we just saw in the previous two graphs. How about home price? This is first time ever the average Toronto home price increased and passed $1 million. That's crazy. Last year, February, the average price was about $900,000. Now it's more than 1 million. That's more than 10% increase. Actually, it's about 14.9% increase. This is obviously much higher increase than that of inflation over the same period of time. This is mainly because of the low interest rate during this pandemic. This is monthly time series with trend line for sales from January 1994 to January 2021. Obviously, it's rising and it makes sense because there are a lot more homes, especially condo apartments, are available now than 25 or 30 years ago. Monthly new listing is rising too. That makes sense too. I have talked about this graph in a previous video before. This is crazy. About 10 years ago, the average home price was about $450,000. After 10 years, now it's more than $1 million. That's roughly about 110% increase in value. Obviously, there are a lot of factors that drove this growth in Toronto. Immigration, election, job market, just to name a few. That's it. It's short but quite comprehensive. This report can be found on TREP or TREP website here. I'll include this link in the description below. Now let's look at another report from TREP. It says GTA home and condo sales reach new heights for February. Record home sales in the Greater Toronto Area GTA continued in February as buyers remained confident in their employment situations and took advantage of ultra-low borrowing costs. These are exactly the reasons. It says with stronger rates of growth in the suburbs, which makes sense because of this wider acceptance of remote working. It also says that condo apartment sales lead the way with 64% increase compared to last year. That's interesting. It also says a continued popularity of suburban low-rise properties. Yeah, that's true. The supply of listings is not keeping up with demand, which could present an even larger problem once population growth picks up following a widespread vaccination later this year and into 2022. I think she's talking about larger number of immigration after this pandemic, which will push the average price even higher. The average selling price was up by about 15% to $1,045,448. Yeah, that's what we just talked. You see, it says detached, semi-detached, and townhouse market segments in the suburban area increased more than 20% over last year. That's crazy. It's basically saying that if you own a $1 million home last year, by now its price has risen to $1.2 million, just over 1 year period of time. You don't have to work, you just got $200,000 a year, which is a Howard professor annual salary, not assistant, not associate, full professor. If you're good at investing and had enough funds to invest, you could have profited a lot from this. TREP chief market analyst Jason Mercer predicted that with this current relationship between demand and supply, this year, 2021, we will see another more than 10% rise average housing price. The CEO, John DiMichele, said that once economies open further and immigration resumes, the housing price will rise once again. Now let's see their comparison of 416 and 905 areas in Toronto. This graph is showing 416 and 905 areas in Toronto. Basically, 416 is the City of Toronto area and 905 is the rest of Greater Toronto area. This is one of a few key charts that's showing you with enough detail about what just happened in the last months, especially compared with February last year. The 416 region, City of Toronto region, should be more expensive on average price compared with the 905 region, which is the rest of GTA area. Let's see if that's true. In 2020, that's true, but in 2021, in average price, the 905 region is actually more expensive than the 416 region. I'm gonna interchangeably using 416 with the City of Toronto region and the 905 with the rest of GTA area region. The average price of 905 region, the rest of GTA area, is about $1,071,512, whereas the City of Toronto area is less than 1 million. That makes a lot of sense. There are a lot more condo apartments, which is cheaper compared to other home types in City of Toronto compared with the rest of GTA area. So this made the average price of City of Toronto lower than that of the rest of GTA. That probably is one of the reasons. Another reason could be 905 region has more houses that are more spacious than those in the City of Toronto area. Look at these numbers. Year-over-year percent changes of sales are between 30 to 65%, whereas average price changes are telling very interesting stories. In 905 region, which is the rest of GTA area, sales increased almost by 47.4%, whereas the average price increased by 27.8%. In comparison, 416 area, sales increased by 30% and the average price increased only by half of the prior, by 13.2%. The average price of semi-detached home in 905 region increased the second most by 25.6%, whereas the that of 416 regions only by 9.7%. Townhouse 20.3% in 905 and 7.8% in 416. Interestingly, condo apartment prices increased only by 5.4% in the rest of GTA area, but decreased by 6.4% in the City of Toronto. This is the only number below zero. This is obviously telling a story of people are fleeing the city center to more suburban areas. I remember I was reading a news that's saying that between August 2019 to August 2020, the City of Toronto lost about 50,000 people. Our next chart is home price index by property types and by regions. As you can see, in almost all property types, the City of Toronto showed the least changes. The seasonally adjusted TRAP average price is still $1,032,608. That's the second report I found interesting. Now let's look at the third one, also the last one, the TRAP Market Watch report. We wouldn't go through all the 27 pages of the report. Instead, I'll talk about those things that are interesting to the general population, especially to those who are living in Toronto or planning to live in Toronto. Many parts of this report are exactly the same as those in the earlier two reports. We're going to look at the information that are only reported here. These are the most recent economic indicators that are available by the time the report was generated. As you can see, the real GDP growth in the 2020 Q4 is about 9.5. Toronto employment growth is -4%. Toronto unemployment rate is about 11.1%. That's really high. Inflation is down 1%. Bank of Canada overnight rate is 0.25%. Prime rate is 2.45%. Mortgage rates in February 2021 is between 2.79% to 4.79% depending on the years. Here's the average price by home types in GTA. As you can see, the detached home price of GTA area is about $1.371 million, and the semi-detached home is about 1.05 million. Row townhouse is about 941,000. Condo townhouse is about 745 actually. And condo apartment is about $642,000. The below is showing the average prices of different home types in all different regions in GTA in February 2021. As you can see, the most expensive region is Halton region, which includes the Burlington, Halton Hills, Milton, and Oakville. The second most expensive region by average price is York region, which includes Aurora, East Williamsburg, Georgina, King, Markham, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, Wagon, Whitechurch, Stouffville. The cheapest region is Dufferin County. The second cheapest region is Durham region, which includes Ajax, Brook, Clarington, Oshawa, Pickering, Scugog, Yoksburg, Whiteby. The City of Toronto region is the middle of all 7 regions with average price of $995,000. This one is average price of detached homes across these regions. City of Toronto is the most expensive, about $1.68 million, followed by Halton region, $1.54 million, York region, $1.511 million, Peel region, $1.324 million, Durham region is $989,000, Simcoe County is $965,000, Dufferin County is $848,000. There are a few more pages to go, but I'm not going to read them to you. If you're interested, you can find them in the TREPS website. I'm gonna include the TREPS link in the description below. You can find them there. Basically, the most important information in this video is that Toronto average housing price increased about 15% from February last year to February this year to $1.05 million and set a record high sales. That's it for today. I hope I brought you some useful information. Don't forget to destroy the like button below and smash the subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you for watching. As always, see you next time.